Hi guys, this is Lada from astrolada.com here with your weekly horoscope for the 10th to the 17th, 10th to the 16th of December 2018. And probably from the title, a lot of you will think, oh, that's another marketing, trick, one of the most auspicious weeks for a long time ahead. But I will explain to you why this is happening. Because if you look at the astrological calendars that are available around, you see that nothing is happening this week. You see that just Mercury is changing signs. No big eclipses, no new moons, full moons, no conjunctions with planets. But according to ancient astrology, guys, this is a spectacular and very important week, one of the most kind of uh, manifesting weeks, I would say, of the whole year so far, and for ahead for quite a long time. And I'll walk you through that because these are ancient rules, and I'll see you how it corresponds to what's happening in the world around. But before that, just to quickly remind you, the 2019 videos are out for the 12 signs. You can buy all 12 signs for $29, or each sign for $6.99, and each sign is an hour and a half of information. And also having collaboration with my teacher, Written Horoscopes. For those of you who prefer the written form, they're very different than the video ones because they weren't done by me, but I participated by my teacher, which are also $6.99. It's 50 pages, 50 slides for each sign. And what else? And calendar, 2019 calendar, where those things that I'm going to be talking about, they're indicated there. And because you see that all other calendars, they don't have when a planet becomes visible and invisible. And this, according to ancient astrology, is the most important thing. They didn't even consider much the aspects between planets. The most important spectacular events always happen when the planet either becomes invisible or visible, and we have 3 planets this week, and it has already started, but the process continues about 7 days before and 7 days after a planet becomes visible, because this is like a birth and death of a planet. So the most intense events happen around births and deaths. I'm not saying that the same will be happening in your life, but it's basically when a planet, we have no conjunctions, nothing, no new moons, but this week 3 planets are changing their visibility. And actually, the ancient astrologers didn't even consider retrograde, direct planets. They were like, the most important thing is when a planet is visible like a star, or when it disappears. This is when the big prophecies were made for. So we have 3 at the same time. So that's why for me, this is one of the most happening and important week. And as I said, for many of you, this has already started, because a planet doesn't lose its visibility or become visible suddenly. One night you look, Jupiter is there, another night you look, it's gone. It happens gradually over about 10, 15 days. That first you can see it for a second, the next day maybe for 3, 4 seconds, and it becomes brighter and brighter. That's why the process takes about 2 weeks on each side. So it has already started for Jupiter and Mercury, but it becomes fully visible this week for Jupiter, and that's like the birth of Jupiter and the birth of Mercury. Mercury started becoming very lightly visible, but not yet with the naked eye, maybe just in some places in the world. And Saturn is becoming invisible gradually. It started a week already ago, and it has another week. So we're going to speak about those 3 tremendous events. That usually planets become visible and invisible one after another, but this time there's this compilation. And what does it mean? Well, when a planet becomes invisible, its light is dying out. So the things that this planet rules, some of those in the real material world can disappear, can turn into the invisible shape, which means that they are dissolved, or they end, or they're completed in a positive way when a planet becomes invisible, which is what Saturn will be doing right now. Many Saturnian things from our life will disappear, collectively and personally. And you can see already, we discussed for the December 2018 prediction with Krasi, that when Saturn goes invisible, which is happening right now, some important person, older person, will pass away, and person very likely who is connected to government, because Saturn rules government, hierarchy, structures, And what happened, George Bush Sr. passed away. Old person Saturn who dissolves, who disappears, whose light goes out, just like Saturn. And you'll be seeing possibly even other manifestation of that. Maybe some traditional structures dissolving, maybe some kind of, and not only in the world, but in your personal life. And we're going to speak about each of you personally, where some structures and some responsibilities and duties will be disappearing, because Saturn rules those things. So there will be some responsibilities and duties might be completed, which is great, and give their results. So you can see the result of some hard work and efforts that you've been putting for the past year till Saturn was visible. And around, maybe it started already for some of you. For some of you, you might see it into the next week. It takes some, as I said, it's 2-week process of invisibility of a planet. And so some old responsibilities and duties might be dissolved. So on a good side, Saturn becoming invisible, you can be relieved from some heavy burden, something that was like that was demanding a lot of your repetition and effort and hard work might finally start giving results. And on another level, though, some structures in your life can also, and some stability can disappear, because Saturn rules those things as well. So it can release us from some duties and responsibilities, but it can also dissolve some stable structures in our life connected to career, to work, to anything that creates our security. But on the positive side, release from certain burdens. And especially people that are ruled by Saturn, Capricorn, and Aquarius, ascendant, rising as we call it, or sun people, or even moon that have Capricorn or Aquarius ascendant, will feel this very strongly until, let's see when Saturn will be invisible to you. I'll show you my screen from my transit calculator for my calendar for 2019, which is also available. Well, Saturn says he is visible, becomes visible from February the 4th to December the 9th. And this means, I'm just closing that people ruled by Saturn will, as I said, Aquarius and Capricorns, from now this week onwards, they're completing something, wrapping something up, seeing the results of that. But also they'll start feeling for about a couple of months, December, January, and part of February, more maybe less visible. They'll take a step back. They'll retreat from active manifestation. Maybe it's a good time for people ruled by Saturn, to take a break, and they might feel a little bit, especially a little bit less motivated, let's say. They can feel it's good time for the next 2 months to complete things, as I said, and especially the next 2 weeks while Saturn is disappearing, to end things. And they'll see great results if they put, like what the nature of Saturn is, if they put a lot of efforts into something, they'll see great results from it. If they haven't, maybe some structure will be dissolved, but also they might feel less energetic for the next 2 months. And it's not a good idea to start new things if you're Capricorn ruled, or wherever in your horoscope Saturn is passing. And we're going to speak about each sign separately. On another level, though, this week is fantastic because 2 benefics are appearing. Jupiter is appearing and Mercury is appearing as well. And it's both happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and Mercury is direct already. So for everyone collectively, it means that this week, and already this week it started, the previous one, but this week in particular I'm talking about, and for the few weeks after that, while Mercury is visible, and you can check out in my calendar when it is visible for. Usually Mercury is visible sometimes just for 2-3 weeks at a time, but it's fantastic time for anything connected to writing, to speaking, to media, to marketing, to advertising, to business, to commercial transactions and activities, to learning new skills, to traveling. Wow. Mercury rules so many things. It basically rules 90% of the white collar jobs and careers, because everything is computerized. It's about communications. It's about customer service. Mercury rules communication. So communications improve tremendously we went through quite a traumatic, for many people, Mercury retrograde that pissed them off a lot, because this Mercury retrograde was a bit stressful because it had difficult aspects with Neptune, things getting lost, confused, misinformation, things kind of getting, all up, all your plans going up in the air. But it's usually daily frustrations. But now Mercury is moving already direct, and it's becoming visible. So when a planet is becoming visible, it's time to give birth, to manifest materially something new, and to start making something new. So fantastic time for starting new projects connected to marketing, advertising, to business, to communication, to writing, some writing projects, to start to learn some new skills, to start to launch a website, to post an article, to start a course or class, all of those things that Mercury, even to start some kind of negotiations, all things that Mercury rules, some kind of transactions that you're doing, go ahead, fantastic. And because Mercury, both direct and both being born, you have the green light for those things. Plus, the moon is already growing this week. So it's always best to start things when moon is growing and visible, and especially good for all those Mercury things, planning, organizing, scheduling, traveling, moving things, all these things that I mentioned. Go ahead, do them. Now I'll be launching my new app the week after that. So that's fantastic. Mercury is visible and it continues for a few weeks. And people that are ruled by Mercury will have a blast. I think they'll start manifesting and seeing that, getting empowered again. And these are Virgo and Gemini people. And also people naturally, even who don't have Virgo and Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, people who are in in Mercury roles, writers, speakers, media people, students, apprentices, interns, people that are in intellectual jobs and careers, communicative careers of any sorts, business administration careers, they'll start seeing things are moving, they're happening, they're clicking, they're aligning for them. It's easier, and launching marketing, sales campaigns, all those kind of stuff, learning new things, just it starts smooth sail and starts manifesting already, and new ideas, because Mercury was invisible for some time, and it means it becomes invisible when Mercury joins. So I'm writing here, Mercury becomes visible. I'll put a star, so it becomes bright in Sagittarius, while Saturn is becoming invisible. So I'm putting like a next to it, going down, setting. Saturn is setting, because when a planet becomes visible, it's emerging from the rays of the sun. We're able to see it. It's moving away from the sun. But it means that for some time, Mercury was on a cancel with the sun. The sun is the king. The sun is our higher consciousness, or as we call it, the spirit that basically has planned our life. Or you can call it the Father. You can call the sun also this Christ consciousness, the one that wants all the best for us, and it's planned all the best for us. And when a planet becomes invisible, it goes on a council with the sun. So in the council with our higher consciousness and Christ consciousness. So it can create a new program for us. But while it's on a council with the sun, it's kind of left its kingdom, this planet, and it can't manifest there. It's like it's gone to study. For example, it's going to get like it's going to meet the CEO to prepare a new business plan. And it went on a sabbatical to study or prepare. It's like a writer who goes and retreats and disappears, and we don't see that writer, but he's making a new book, and we think, oh, he's gone and he's nowhere in the media anymore. He's not writing his great articles. And then he comes out of this invisibility, but he had a council with the higher consciousness, the king, and got great ideas, and comes out. And when it becomes visible, this is when metaphorically this writer comes out and says, here is the book that I wrote. And so it basically, this is when you manifest. So this is what's happening with Mercury. So you can now manifest something. You've been preparing something, you can show it to the public, it can become visible for everyone that is Mercury related. And as I said, all Mercury ruled people will feel like new beginnings, flow of energy, flow of confidence and enthusiasm. They're merging with new exciting ideas, with new, with new inspiration of some sort. And whatever Mercury is becoming visible in your horoscope, which we'll talk about each person separately, this is where you're going to manifest mercurial things. And we'll speak about that, what it means. At the same time, we also have Jupiter, and Jupiter becomes visible very rarely, just once a year. So that's why Jupiter is the great benefic, the most positive planet, as we know. Wherever Jupiter goes, it helps. It's also becoming visible. It's moving away from the rays of the sun. It was there for a cancel for about a few weeks. And if you remember my videos from a couple of weeks ago, this was when Jupiter was conjunct the sun. And it was called, many astrologers called it the happiest day of the year. I wouldn't call it so because Jupiter is invisible, but something important happened on that week when Jupiter was invisible and joined the sun. Maybe you had an inspiration, maybe you met someone, maybe there was an inkling of something, maybe it was an idea. The seeds were sown then, but you could not still see the results of those seeds. It might have been just some kind of inspiration idea you start, and you probably didn't even start it, materially in some way, but something clicked there. Some download happened that week, a few weeks ago, in the past few weeks, basically, for you, that will lead you now to start manifesting when Jupiter becomes visible, and fully it becomes visible from the 16th, so towards the end of the week. And it means that next week as well, till the 22nd, will be, because we said it's 7 days before it becomes visible, and 7 days after that a planet becomes super powerful according to ancient astrologers. It's like the birth of it. And so it means this whole week plus the week after that till the 22nd, till Christmas, it's under the influence of Jupiter and Mercury as well, two benefics. And it means now will be the luckiest week of the year. Now will be the best week of the year when Jupiter is born. And also we have when Venus gets born, but this one passed already. And when Jupiter is born, those new inklings, those ideas that came, possibly like this download that happened, you can start manifesting it, you can start seeing it, you can start the tangible results, because visible means it's tangible, it's coming out of the underworld or out of the invisible world. And I believe that also internationally around the world, you'll see like important books being published, Mercury, important essays on and news coming, very important news. This is Mercury, connected to scientists, to writers, to speakers. Some new philosophies will be emerging, some new global and humanistic, because Jupiter is in Sagittarius, which is connected, which is a very noble sign, which wants to uplift humanity, and it's about ideologies and beliefs, and Jupiter is the same. So there will be the birth, and it's happening already, of new movements that are humanitarian, some new charities, some new charitable actions that are happening around the world, a new belief system, new hope is being born now. It's starting to give results, to manifest, to spread like fire. The seeds started a few weeks ago, but now it's going to spread like fire when Jupiter becomes visible. Maybe some new persons in the world will also rise and become very prominent these couple of weeks. Philanthropists, philosophers, or people, wealthy people who come at the front that with ideas to help in some way or to contribute in some way. But these are, I know you're interested much more on personal level what happens. So wherever Jupiter becomes visible and is being born now for you guys in your chart, whatever house it is going to become visible in, that area of your life is going to start blooming, is going to start giving results. Jupiter is wealth, abundance. Jupiter is knowledge. You're going to start becoming, you're going to start to be able to apply that knowledge to manifest that house. Plus, I've always told you, according to ancient Gemini astrology, Gemini, when Jupiter and Mercury are together in a sign, they trigger the sign powerfully to manifest. These are the two positive activating planets to make something happen, but not just like if they're in your 5th house, doesn't mean you're going to break up with a partner. To make the positive thing of that house to happen. So wherever they, and because till now they were both invisible, but they've been together there, since November sometime. So I was talking already in November that they'll start manifesting, but at moments they were invisible, so they could not. When a planet is invisible, it cannot. It just gives birth to the ideas. It's internal manifestation that happens, as I said, in the invisible world, downloads. But when it becomes visible, the material results will be seen. So I'm telling you, these 2 weeks, you're gonna see material, strong manifestation in that area of your life where Sagittarius is, and you have to check according to your ascendant and your sun sign. Even check according to your moon sign, guys. You don't want to miss that. So now this combination, plus they're being born together this week, so they are 10 times more powerful than other times of the year, plus they're together in the same sign. Wow. And they're coming reborn with new ideas. And it means that also people born by this, ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius, and Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, and give you and people that who've relocated to places where the ascendant is either Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces, or Sagittarius. They're gonna start coming out. They're gonna start being able to manifest. They're gonna start feeling stronger and more empowered. They're gonna start feeling more vitality if they were less healthy, for example. And they're gonna start becoming and making new beginnings in their life. So I'm, just the Saturn ruled people are going to be completing things, ending, wrapping things, and taking it slower and easier. And they have to take care a bit more of their health, because Saturn is going to cancel the Christ consciousness, the king, to the new business plan for new structures that have to be built. And during that time, some will become invisible. So let's go sign by sign, guys. And I think that Mercury is going into Sagittarius basically in the middle of the week. So you're going to start seeing that even more, this manifesting power of Sagittarius, whatever it's in your horoscope, from the middle of the week. And otherwise, there is no conjunctions, no new moons or whatever, full moons, but you'll see things are going to start shifting and moving. So starting with Aries quickly. Aries, for you, Saturn is becoming invisible in your 10th house, so maybe you're noticing, and you'll keep noticing, that you might be completing certain responsibilities connected to your career, to your social status. You might be completing and ending up some career projects. There might be the dissolution of some structures or some projects as well connected to your career. If you're not working, these will be some public responsibilities that are being dissolved, or that you're being dissolved of some public presence, and in the positive side, it might mean that some duty and responsibility that's public, you get relieved from it, and it starts giving it results, or you see the final results of it and you wrap it up and that's it, it's dissolved. On the negative side, it means that there might be the dissolution of some career sometimes for people, or some career project, or that cannot manifest while Saturn is invisible till the 4th of February, that maybe that so it's more time to end things there with your career and public status and projects that you're doing, rather than start new ones, for Aries, especially Aries rising. And it might also mean that some authority figure can disappear from your life, or maybe that you have to take a step down from your own authority or some authoritative position, to take a step back, from, and there might be the dissolution of some structures that you have, and how you've organized your life in some way, that there's a dissolution of some sort. On another way, positive level, though, Mercury and Jupiter becoming visible, and they do triple manifestation in your 9th house. So what's going to emerge for you, Aries, especially Aries rising, then Sun and Moon, is that the birth of new opportunities connected to traveling, connected to teaching, connected to spreading knowledge, maybe the birth of new pre-qualifying opportunities, the birth of the opportunity to start learning something new, the birth of new excitement for higher knowledge, or for to learn some new skills as well, Mercury. But this will expand your vision, this will expand your happiness. The 9th house is connected to happiness. You're going to start feeling happier, definitely. You're going to start seeing and being able to tap into the future somehow, because ninth house is connected to the future, to tap, and you're gonna get a new goal. And because the ninth house is the arrow, so new inspired goal, especially connected to higher knowledge, to traveling, to something global, to learning, to studying, to teaching as well. And there can be something very good happening if you're trying to get into a university, for example, or to get documents for a foreign country to live in, or to get access to a foreign faraway place, or you can be helped by someone. Ninth house rules people that are very different than us, different and higher social status, or people that are with more like, I would say, like wise teachers, or some wise teacher, or a new teacher or guiding light can be born in your life. New inspiration will be born for your Aries about your life, about new belief systems. And because I'm an Aries, that's what's been happening in the last 1 week. I've been going into a totally new vision. The ninth house is the vision for your life. So my vision for my life is totally changing. It's what I want and how I want it. And a new belief system is being born in me, or a new goal in life. All right. If you're Taurus, Saturn is becoming invisible in your ninth house, which means that maybe something connected to the ninth house will dissolve and will be completed. Maybe you might be wrapping up some teaching project or some educational project, and it might be giving its results. So you might be looking for the results and wrapping up some projects connected to foreign countries, foreigners, and traveling. Or it might be that you're wrapping up, guys, some, what is the ninth house? What starts is the dissolution of some belief system that you have, that kind of sinks down, and that kind of, you start feeling it's outdated, and you're kind of a bit on a downer, but it's an old structural belief system and outlook on the world. This is the ninth house that is getting dissolved. And it might be a bit harder to manifest travel of some sort for the next week or two to foreign places. Not necessarily, because then the sun enters Capricorn, so it's gonna manifest. And also it can indicate, well, I think these are the things. It's not so stressful there for you. But at the same time, Mercury and Jupiter are becoming visible in your eighth house, Taurus. Fantastic. They're so powerful, and they're triple manifesting power together in Sagittarius, in any sign together. So you can powerfully manifest some support from another person. You can receive a loan, or you can receive some government help, or your partner might get a promotion, or you can receive some your business partner can bring an increase, or you can receive money that is owed to you, or you can get money by collaboration with another, or through investments that you've made with pooled resources and other people's resources. So some long-term investment maybe that you made in the past can manifest now, or maybe you had some idea about some mutual resources, or about investment of some sort as well in the last few weeks that you can start manifesting now. Also, it can be some very good news in connection to inheritances, insurances, and taxes. You can find a great tax person, or you can receive an insurance, or you can receive an inheritance. If you want anything to do with those three things, act on it now. New beginnings, great results. Plus, the eighth house is the house of intimacy, especially deeper, like sexual intimacy with another person. This can manifest now. This can be born for you. It can be fantastic time to see tangible results, to feel it. And the eighth house for you as well, Taurus, it means the it's zoned out. Sorry. The eighth house means transformation and deep healing. And they can be, but in a very positive way. It's going to happen because by the trigger of those two planets, it's going to happen. It's kind of like, if there is a deep transformation, psychologically, emotionally, even physical, almost like eighth house considered to miracles that can happen when it's positively activated, and Jupiter is strongest there in the next 2 weeks. So some kind of deep transformation psychologically, and ability to be reborn in a new personality. This is the eighth house. A new rebirth of a new self. It's the death and the rebirth of a new self, because these two planets are being born there. They're both benefics. There is a rebirth of a new, more transformed, more powerful self of some sort. Even physically it can happen. Okay, and some sudden events can happen in your life that are kind of unexpected, because the eighth house, which spin your life around in the next 2 weeks. So maybe they're happening already. That might be a bit shocking though, because eighth house does things shockingly, but they're for good, and they open new opportunities for you in a powerful way. So if you're Gemini, then Saturn is disappearing and becoming invisible in your eighth house, and it means that something connected to the eighth house, some structures there can be dissolved. On a positive level, the eighth house indicate obsessions and compulsions. So there might be the decrease of such a obsession and compulsion, the disappearance. It goes sleeping, slumbering, and it can be also some kind of a power struggle with the person that is kind of dying down and disappearing. But on a negative level, it can mean that eighth house also indicates sexual intimacy, and a problem with that can also disappear. But on another level, eighth house indicates, on the material level, it indicates other people's resources, taxes, insurances, inheritances. So things connected to those things, they might be completing. You might be, for example, seeing the results of completing a project connected to clients, business clients, money, or money coming from a business partnership, or resources, or some mutual project that you're doing with another person. The eighth house is the results of that mutual project. You might be wrapping such one down, up, and seeing results, and basically even getting the whole bounty for it while Saturn is becoming invisible there. And if you're expecting money from someone, or from clients or something, when a planet is becoming invisible in your eighth house, you can receive that. But then the shop closes. But once it becomes invisible, those things connected to the eighth house, resources of others, insurances, inheritances, taxes, even intimacy, kind of becomes a bit of a dead zone, because it needs to be reborn. There might be some dissolution of matters connected to resources that come to you in collaboration with others, or projects in collaboration to others. But the good thing is now you can wrap those up and see the results of those. But after that, it's not going to be so easy to manifest there, and to manifest such matters. Okay, but at the same time, you're going to have Mercury and Jupiter becoming visible in your seventh house. That's way more powerful for you, Gemini. It affects you way more directly than Saturn becoming invisible in your eighth house. And not only that, but they're directly aspecting Gemini. So I think, Gemini, this is going to be, and it's probably started already, especially once Mercury enters into Sagittarius from the middle of the week, one of the really most memorable weeks in a positive way, because we have two benefic rising in your seventh house. You're going to meet someone. This is a very manifesting time to meet someone who can really help you, someone that you can make a collaboration with. Maybe you already met someone when Jupiter was conjunct the sun in your seventh house. Or maybe you already had, and I'm not saying just sexual relationship, I'm talking business partnership, collaboration, any person that can be very important for you. And now something will be born of that in a visible way, of you meeting these people. Now you can unfold that relationship, this collaboration, in a tangible way. And maybe also this is a time, some of you, especially Gemini rising people, to a lesser degree sun and moon, but still for them as well, where a new relationship can be born, or a new phase of their relationship, if they're already in a relationship. There can be some powerful new beginning in a positive way in the life of their partner. Some good news that comes from their partner. If you're single, you might actually now manifest. Or if you're looking to sign an agreement or a contract, which is seventh house, with a client to make a partnership, this is going to manifest. This is going to happen, and it's going to be good. All right. So fantastic. If you're a Cancer, Saturn is becoming invisible in your seventh house. You might be wrapping up something in regards to a relationship. There might be even the death of a certain agreement, business partnership, contract, or even personal relationship. Or there might be that such a person in your life, a partner or very close people you collaborate with, is retreating a little bit, is kind of disappearing from your life or taking a sabbatical, and it's gonna kind of it's gonna become more quiet, you know. But on a positive level, it can indicate that you're completing some project and seeing the results of something connected to relationships, to agreements, to contracts, which is the seventh house, to collaborations with another person. Uh, but also, it can indicate that Saturn will dissolve when it disappears, and some old structures in your relationships will die out. There can be some kind of crisis that happens in a relationship while Saturn is invisible, because this relationship has to be reworked with a new structure, with a new rules, or this contract or disagreement. While Saturn is invisible, especially when it joins the Sun, those new ideas will come, how to those new structures that need to be built. But while it's becoming invisible, you might, some of you, see that there is kind of the dissolution of this, and that this is the ending of some structures or agreements or contracts connected to other people, and promises as well. Uh, on another level, though, on a positive level, let's look at the positive side. Saturn can, when it becomes invisible, dissolve some obligation you have towards another person, especially if it was some burdenous obligation, especially with a business partner or marriage partner of some sort. Or it can just remove a person from your life that was like a burden or a testing influence in your life somehow. Or on a positive level, again, it can dissolve some more complicated problem, because Saturn rules problems with a partner. It can make it invisible, like bury it for a little bit, let's say. All right. But again, as I said, it can play out that some relationships becomes invisible as well. On a very positive level, Jupiter and Mercury are becoming visible in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 house Cancers, which indicates that you will have some great news and ability to manifest in your work, with workmates or work project. Maybe you can start new work project that gives great results. Maybe you can start a new diet. The sixth house is how to take care of our health. A new diet that you're very enthusiastic and excited about. You find out a lot of information about it, and you have the passion and the excitement to follow it, and a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and you start, and you can find the solution, a new solution, because it's a birth, new beginnings, new solution of a health problem. And maybe something that already started the last 2-3 weeks, when Jupiter joined the Sun and Mercury joined the Sun in Sagittarius, maybe, which came as an inkling, now will be able to be born and to manifest in regards to your work, in regards to your health, in regards to something connected to death as well. Sixth house is death, but to solve this problem in a positive way. Plus, sixth house rules naturally enemies. So just like illnesses are our enemies and people that we're fighting with. So they might, or even court cases, like the battle that's happening, the lack of balance and harmony is the sixth house. But two benefics are becoming visible there, so they can help you resolve in a positive, easy way some kind of antagonistic and enmity, and the birth of new work possibility, new healthier lifestyle or routine can happen. Um, what else is the sixth house? So it rules so many things. Yeah. All right. New health awareness as well can be born. Also, pet. Some of you can have, and maybe it's already happening, but like a new pet in their life, or new employees. If you want to employ someone, you're Cancer, you can find some fantastic employees now, or your employees can start manifesting better, or you can find the right people to hire for something right now. Maybe you got an idea, maybe you were talking about that in the previous few weeks. Now it is manifesting. Find the right help for home, or someone to fix something at home. Sixth house is all people that come, we hire, or all people that work for us, or that are our employees, or that we're kind of above on the social, or that we're doing some work with, is particularly, but we're in a more senior position as well. So manifesting, they're great. Leo, okay, Saturn is disappearing in your sixth house. So on a positive level, it can indicate that some burden and responsibility is disappearing, and that some kind of especially Saturn in the sixth house indicates a lot of work, a lot of heavy responsibilities, almost like a person can, when Saturn transits the sixth house, can become a little bit workaholic or a little bit overburdened with so many routines, duties, responsibilities. It's kind of like a groundhog day. It's like one after another. It's whether a job or whether even if you're stay-at-home mom and you have Leo's ascendant, sun or moon, you've been feeling it probably. This kind of this Saturn making you become much more desire, giving more responsibilities, more errands, more duties, one after another, and they're usually repetitive and routine of some sort, kind of draining a little bit the light through those responsibilities. And maybe some of those will get dissolved now when Saturn disappears. Maybe some of them, they'll ease off on you because their master, Saturn, that brings them, goes on a council with the king. So when the boss is away, the mouse can play. So maybe that can give you a bit of a respite of that, grinder. Also, it can indicate that some job duties and responsibilities can be dissolved. Maybe you can complete now, you're completing some work project and you might be seeing the results of it. Its bounty, its full bounty will be presented to you, and it might be cornucopia, or it might be total shit if you haven't done a good job, But you might be now manifesting and wrapping up a project with connected to your work, or a project you might be seeing now. You might be wrapping up some fitness product, some fitness, regime and routine, some phase of a fitness, because sixth house is working hard on your body, on your health. And you might be wrapping up or dissolving some old structures connected to your daily routines, to your health habits, to your fitness, and even dissolving some kind of habits, health habits that are unhealthy. That might be one good thing. Or it might become that some kind of a health problem becomes invisible and gets buried deeper or gets dissolved. Some kind of karmic burden connected to a health issue gets dissolved, gets disintegrated, becomes invisible in some sort, or disappears from your consciousness in some way. But also it can indicate that some structures in your life connected to the sixth house, some order and organization and the way of making things that you're used to, can also be dissolved, can disappear, can be dispersed, become inefficient. And when Saturn goes and joins the sun, a new plan will appear, how to create more efficiency. New responsibilities will start being born, how to make it more efficient, how to streamline your day so you're more organized, more orderly. And when Saturn becomes visible, you start putting it into action, but that's towards February. Or you start and for some of you, unfortunately, it can dissolve an employment. And you can be done with a certain employment and it can disappear from your life, But Saturn in the sixth house invisible, some enemies can disappear as well. Some, all those, even some illness can disappear. But when it becomes, but also it can disappear some of those, some debt can in some way be sixth houses debt that we have can be dissolved as well. So it has quite a few positive sides to it, Saturn disappearing, Leos, for you in the sixth house. And maybe you felt that you become much more organized and more focused on cleaning and putting things in order when Saturn is in the sixth house. This is what it tends to do. But now it's disappearing. Maybe there'll be anyway, I'm not gonna take 10 hours to do this. I'm moving. Jupiter and Mercury are becoming visible in your Saturn disappearing in your sixth house, Leo, in extreme case can be the passing away of an animal, or can mean the dissolution of some employees you have, or letting go of some employees. It can indicate that your employees become not so participative, or people that you're hiring, or people that some kind of, maybe some colleagues can also disappear, or people that are you hire to help you at home or whatever, for whatever services, that maybe it's not the best time to do it now when Saturn disappears in your sixth house. And to hire such new people, or maybe you can see the results of the actions of some project that you've been doing with people that you've been hiring, or the people that you have worked on some project with. All right, so Jupiter and Mercury are becoming visible in your fifth house. Yes, so this is the time, I think, when it's most possible, if you're single, to fall in love, if you're Leo rising to the moon, or to have a rebirth of your love life. And I believe that you'll feel like a new excitement or new ability to manifest love, to express romantically with your partner, and to have fun. And this is active, I would say, the whole December for you. But especially this week and next week, it's becoming powerful. And it's already started. You might meet someone that you fall romantically in love with, or you might, something can happen in your relationships with your existing partner that brings that spark back. Oh, or you can find a new hobby. You can begin a new hobby. Maybe you already had an inkling on an idea over the next few weeks, last weeks, what it is, like a new creative project that you want to start. You had a new inspiration download. Now you can start manifesting it and acting on it when those two planets appear in your in your fifth house. Maybe something great like support and help can appear in regards to your children. So there can be some new beginning in their life, and it goes positive, and it is good, and it makes you happier. Or for some of you, it might be even the birth of a child. For some of you, it might be the conception of a child. For some of you, it might be the birth and the seeing the results. If you want to start a new business, fantastic, a new project of some sort that you have personally created, that you're personally going to create. Now is the time to start it, Leos. If you want to start a new romance, go ahead. If you want to start some new idea that you've had, which is the fifth house, go ahead with that as well. You'll see. If you want to start some new hobby, if you want to start something new connected to entertainment, connected to art, connected to party planning, to having fun of some sort in any way, or this is the thing. This is the time to do, and you're gonna have more fun overall. You're gonna feel it like the rebirth of the ability to have a bit more fun. And of course, Saturn becoming invisible in your sixth house, some responsibilities and heavy burdens are disappearing, so you have more time to, yay! I'm wishing that for you, Leo. Okay, Virgo. Saturn is disappearing in your fifth house. Well, maybe some love relationship can disappear. Some, especially one that is more karmic, or someone that, and especially it might be that the disappearance of painful feelings connected to someone that hurt your self-esteem romantically or in another way. So that can be good news in some way for you, Virgos. Yes, the planet is disappearing, something in dying out. You might wrap up some romantic relationship. You might wrap up some creative project, though. That's on another level, positive. You might see the results and the fruits, because when a planet disappears, before it disappears, it gives you everything that you, especially Saturn, if you've worked hard for something, before it disappears, it's going to show you the results of this. And so if you had some creative project, it's going to give you the results of it. If you or some brilliant idea that you've been working on, that you personally with your own intelligence developed, you're going to see the results of it. Or you can basically now, when it's disappearing, complete it in some way, and then it ends, this creative project. Maybe you might be ending some hobby, or you might be ending some responsibility connected to children. That's a good thing. For example, heavy responsibilities connected to children, or some travel that was connected to children might be ending. But it might also indicate the ending of as I said, a love relationship, but that was somehow karmic. Whatever it was Saturnian in nature, or the ending of certain phase of your romantic relationship, or the ending of, the disappearance of some heavy responsibility towards children, towards I think I mentioned all of this. Okay, and the completion of some creative project. All right, and if you, and it can be great as well to see the results of some creative project. But on another level, you have fantastic manifestations and new beginnings in regards to your fourth house, Virgos. And my relocate ascendant is Virgo, and I've been feeling it more and more. Like my chart is manifesting more and more through the relocated ascendant. So some help is coming from family, new beginnings in family that are manifested. Maybe you had some ideas over the last 2-3 weeks to do something new in the place where you're living, or to move, or to change the dynamics of your family, or to do something, receive some help, or do something, or even to do with the garden, with the furniture, with the, now you're gonna make it happen. Now you're gonna manifest it. Now these things will happen. Maybe finally you're able to clean the garden, or find the right house, or find the right place to relocate, or maybe finally you will start from this week. You're gonna get clarity, and not only clarity but tangible results with something connected to family. You can receive help and support in regards to family. You can, things in regards to parenthood improve, and property and vehicles, they're happening materially, seeing results, good things are happening there. Right, Libra, Saturn is disappearing in your fourth house. So some responsibilities or duties connected to family or property or vehicles can be dissolved, especially ones that were more heavy and burdensome, that were you had to repeatedly do, can dissolve. That's the good side of Saturn disappearing in your fourth house. Even some problem with family can dissolve and can disappear, because Saturn rules problems or responsibilities or duties, or kind of some heavy burden that gets dissolved in regards to family, property, home, personal life. On the more negative side, though, some security connected to your family can also disintegrate and disappear. Sometimes can mean like a loss of house or property or home or sense of belonging. And it can indicate that it might be hard to manifest over the next 2 months and a half, while Saturn is invisible, matters connected to uh, property, to home, to vehicles, and that something new will be born. But once Saturn becomes visible from February onwards, we'll see that things connected to your family, property, and all those personal life will start moving ahead. And now you might be completing. The good side is that you might be completing something. For example, if you're doing some home project, this, you're completing it and you're seeing the results of it. Well, Saturn is setting. If you made a good job, you're wrapping it up and you're very happy with it. But as I said, it can also dissolve some heavy responsibilities there, so it becomes a bit easier. All right. Then, though, you're going to be manifesting very powerfully in a positive way and starting new beginnings in regards to this third house, where Jupiter and Mercury are becoming visible. So you're going to manifest new contacts. You're going to manifest new skills. You're going to start now. You're going to get excited, and you're going to find the resources or the time to maybe start studying something new already from this week, and maybe it has started for some of you already, to study something new, to learn some new skills, to start a new marketing or business. Fantastic time now to start marketing or advertising campaigns of some sort. Third house rules that, or some, you can publish some new articles, or you might start like a new blog or new website, or you might start, fantastic time for that. Third house rules all those things. You might start some new commercial venture, new media venture, new communication venture, some new collaboration with small group of people. Something good can be born out of a meeting, small group meeting of others, or business meetings. You can start manifesting if you're in any kind of business, and third house is self-made wealth, and the skills to make it happen. You're manifesting, you're gaining those skills, you're gaining new contacts, you're making, you can write and speak, and you can manifest some journey as well, some travels of some sort, even close or far away travels as well. You can manifest better relationships or a new beginning with relatives and siblings. Something good can happen that brings you joy in the life of a sibling or relative or a friend, which is the third house. And anything new can happen in regards to, I think we mentioned everything, yeah. And not only new, but it's good new. It manifests well. All right, then if you're Scorpio, Saturn is disappearing in your third house. So what can dissolve? What can become invisible? Maybe you might be wrapping up some commercial business project, which is the third house, or some media project, or some written, or maybe some course connected to learning skills of some sort, or some educational course that you might be wrapping it up, and you're seeing the results of it. It might have great bounty for you. If you've put the hard effort, Saturn only gives you according to how much you've put in. So if you've put the efforts in regards to some, you might be wrapping up a website, or you might be completing some commercial transaction, or you might be completing some sales. But when Saturn disappears, once it fully disappears, then those things, third house things, will be more difficult to manifest. So starting new writing, speaking, new marketing campaigns, advertisements, starting new websites, or it's not happening. Maybe you can be, when Saturn is invisible, you can be preparing for that, or you can be preparing new plan for it, but you're not going to be able to manifest these third house things, which is anything connected to business, to marketing, to communication, to information, even to short journeys, until Saturn becomes visible in February again. And there might be also that there might be the dissolution or the ending of some structures connected to uh, some stable structures connected to relationships with siblings or relatives that are dissolving, or structures connecting to I don't know, some writing projects, or some business structures that are being, and organizational structures, because third house is connected to that, to planning, organizing, that are being dissolved, when Saturn disappears. On a positive level, Mercury and Jupiter are becoming visible in your second house. If there is one time of the year that you can manifest financially strongly, this is now. While Jupiter and Mercury are both, just rising. So new beginnings and new ideas. Maybe you even got the new idea when Mercury and Jupiter joined the Sun, but they were invisible then in the last 2-3 weeks. Now you're going to be able to start seeing the results of those new ideas, or to start making it happen. Not seeing the results, to start making it happen. So now you can put into action some plan to create more resources. Maybe new resources can appear, and it might be connected to your possessions. It might be connected to articles of value. It might be connected just to money, some kind of investment that you're making. And those new ideas, implement them now. They're going to give very good results if you implement them when Mercury and Jupiter are rising. Plus, the second house is food, what you put in your body, new beginnings in a very positive way, an ability to manifest, maybe a new food routine and regime, maybe food, what you eat, maybe a new beauty routine and regime. That you got the inklings and the inspirations and the ideas in the last few weeks. Now you're making it happen. Maybe a new wardrobe, how you're gonna look, and the second house is also known as the house of family in ancient astrology. So there might be some positive new beginnings in regards to your family as well. It's not only the fourth house, it's the second that rules family. And it might be like that you are developing new tastes and new excitement for new food, for new look, for new aesthetic values, and that will a new self-found self-worth. In some way, your self-worth, new self-worth is being born of you valuing yourself in a better, newer way, and that will reflect in the way that others value you. Start noticing that, and in the way that attracting like more money, attracting more things around you materially from the universe as a response. All right. If you're a Sagittarius, Saturn is becoming invisible in your second house. On a positive level, it can indicate the disappearance of some financial obligations that were heavy, the completion of some heavy or burdensome or long drawn out financial duties and responsibilities. It can also indicate that you see the results of some financial investments that you've made, and if it was wise and if it was well done, you will receive the bounty now, because before a planet disappears, it gives its whole, just like before a person dies, it leaves everything behind. It's horrible comparison, but it's like before Saturn disappears, it's going to give you everything that, in regards to resources, finances, uh, material things that you've worked on. If you've been working hard on that for the last few months while Saturn was visible, you're going to see the results now, the highest potential of it. If you didn't work hard, it's like, and at the same time, though, on a negative level, it can indicate that uh, some financial resources can be dissolved and can disappear. So something that you rely on, and even you might kind of dissolve and disappear some of your possessions and things that you're, attached to, and these can dissolve as well and disappear. But it might be hard while Saturn is invisible to manifest materially after that, once it becomes invisible. Now you can receive something as a result of hard efforts previously, but during the next 2.5 2 months after that, when Saturn is invisible, will not be exactly the right time to start new financial transactions, new financial beginnings, or you might have some losses or disappearance of certain valuable things. But what will happen is that you will restructure your value system, you will restructure your finances, and you'll start on a new level when Saturn appears from February. And you'll start with new ideas financially from February. But now you're wrapping things up, and then you're going to kind of withdraw and contemplate more than be able to manifest materially, in regards to assets, in regards to resources, in regards to available resources, equipment, and such kind of stuff. Uh, and yeah, but we have a great news, because the two benefics, Mercury and Jupiter, becoming visible in your sign, guys. Wow. That's, even though this Saturn news might have, dissolving of some financial structures and maybe loss of some money or something that can happen, but it has its meaning. There is a reason for it. Don't worry, there'll be a new cycle of rebirth after that, so don't stress out. But Jupiter and Mercury are becoming visible in your sign. So you're the luckiest sign, Sagittarius, this couple of weeks. Something is being born, something new is being born in your life, and it's of Mercurial and Jupiterian nature. It's fantastic time for you, Sagittarius, to start new businesses, to start new careers, new jobs, to start even new relationships, because Mercury is the ruler of your seventh house. It's becoming visible. Sorry. It's becoming visible in your own sign. It's like appearance of a new partner in your life can happen now, a business partnership or a new agreement or improvement of your relationship of some sort, or your relationship starting on a new level, or some business partnership or agreement or contract. It can be the appearance. Also, Jupiter rules your and Mercury rules your 10th house, appearance even of a new career, a new stage of your career, a new opportunity in your career, and appearance. And the star can be fantastic. Start to publish, to write, to travel. Sagittarius, do that. These things will manifest even if you don't do them in some way. Not all of them, but to someone, one thing, some like a new educational opportunity can appear. Jupiter and Mercury both rule education, new travel opportunity, new work opportunity, partnership opportunity, even new opportunity for family. Something you just will start feeling empowered. You'll start feeling better, happier. Your planet is becoming visible. You start being able to manifest. You come into your power now, guys. Don't miss this opportunity. Well, just open yourself to the possibility that so many good things can come now. And yeah, so I think I want to hear from Sagittarius rising people, to a lesser degree sun or moon, if things are manifesting for them more, if good new beginnings are starting, if they're able to feel more empowered, if they're able to feel more positive. And again, the new beginnings can be mercurial, writing, speaking, communication, work, all of those things that I mentioned. So I don't know which one in particular, guys, because it's too many things happening. All right. If you're Capricorn, your planet is becoming invisible, Capricorn. I spoke at the beginning into the intro. I said quite a lot about that, which means that Capricorns, some of you were wrapping a very important project. They're ending something in their life. They're seeing the full results of it, whether good or bad. It depends on you. But something is wrapping up, something is completing. And for the next 2 months and a half, while Saturn is invisible till the 4th of February, so the next 2 months only, you might feel like you go in more in hibernation, and that maybe you've completed something, you've wrapped it up over the next 2 weeks, and you're like, okay, I can rest and take it easy and withdraw a little bit. And at the same time, you're going to have Mercury and Jupiter becoming visible in your 12th house, which means you can manifest a break. 12th house is to take it easy, to have a break, to relax. You can manifest a holiday away, an escape, a retreat, more time alone. You can manifest the possibility to enjoy privacy more, to enjoy some spiritual awakening, the possibility to enjoy faraway countries. Fantastic time if you want to do that. But at the same time, you have to step down from the stage for a little bit, Capricorns, and give the leadership role to someone else, and not to push yourself too hard, because while your planet is invisible, starting from this week onwards, on the middle, you will feel like your energies are draining a little bit, and it's time to go back. And it's like your soul is going on retreat, or your soul is going on a consultation with your spirit, the sun, because Saturn will join the sun, and you might feel a little bit frustrated, because I know Capricorns are used to manifesting and making, they like to have material tangible results, and they might feel frustrated during the next 2 months if they're trying to make something manifest, to make something happen that is not giving results, or that it's and the sun burning your planet Saturn. You can feel a bit overpowered by some authority figure or by some outer circumstances, but it's for a reason, because a new plan will be imprinted onto you when Saturn joins the sun, when the sun joins Saturn, which will happen sometime in January, I think towards the beginning of January. And this new plan will be imprinted from your soul, the sun, into your soul, Saturn, because Saturn is the ruler of your ascendant, and then you will be born with a new plan, a new beginning, which will come in February, and this is when you get powerful again, Capricorns, from February, to manifest in a material way. Now, retreat a little bit, more time for spiritual activities. Also, it's good to wrap up things, to complete projects, as I said, this is when your planet disappears, you're seeing the results of something. But just be careful on your health a little bit. As I said, you might feel more frustrated, more when Saturn joins the sun, some more weaknesses can come a little bit. But Jupiter and Mercury, the two benefics, are manifesting in your 12th house, and we said that this can manifest to you a great new beginning in regards to escaping reality, like a new private pleasure. The 12th house is private pleasures. So some kind of a newfound joy and pleasure of maybe having a book and reading behind, alone, or maybe you found, or some kind of new interest into the mystical and spiritual can appear. That's why I said it's very good time for spiritual activities, for researching deep into your soul, and you're going to get answers, and it's going to manifest. Plus, the 12th house, you can manifest powerfully a faraway country, trip, or journey. Or if you work now in island, or in a resort, or in a spa, or in a hospital, in a prison, in a library, laboratory, all those kind of or hotels, all those kind of secluded environments, as they say, they're like into a world into themselves, then you can manifest powerfully. Now new beginnings can happen there. And now you can, for example, have like new projects there, even though remember your Saturn ruler is kind of is a bit invisible, but because your 12th house is manifesting, or if you're an artist, oh, your imagination will go on fire and you can start manifesting great creative ideas. The 12th house is the imagination. If you're spiritual, mystic, or psychic, or an astrologer, or someone who needs download of information from the invisible worlds, which is the 12th house, it goes on fire. You get insights, you get some deep understanding, guys. The 12th house is the house of in-depth understanding of something, almost like intuitively knowing it. And if you're a researcher of some sort, out of your imagination, answers will come out of the invisible world. It's like a eureka moment, like a lamp will go on, especially in the next 1-2 weeks. Some spiritual answers will come to you, spiritual illuminations, answers from your guides, the invisible worlds, from your guides, your higher self. Wow, you're going to be on fire in those. I know this is not very material stuff, but sometimes this is what we need. And that's what you need, Capricorn, or a holiday on a more material level, or just like, you know, uh, retreat into art, into your artist studio, retreat of some sort. But for more spiritual people, they can even like tap into past lifetimes and manifest and see. They can tap into invisible worlds. They can tap into guidance from ancestors. And if you go to a psychic now, I'm pretty sure that will be one of the best readings you've had. Wow, Mercury and Jupiter are rising, becoming visible, illuminating with their light the 12th house of guidance from the invisible world. Plus, Mercury and Jupiter, Mercury is the messenger, and Jupiter is higher knowledge, so they can be an ability to, through an 11th house is psychics and counselors and guidance from the invisible world. So this might be an interesting thing for you. Or if you're trying to get to a faraway country, or if you're trying to do something with those 12 house things, it's happening for you. Then if you're Aquarius, remember that Saturn is a traditional ruler of Aquarius. And Saturn rules the physical part of Aquarius because it is visible planet, while Uranus rules more the psychological features of Aquarius because it's an invisible planet, so it rules more internal side of Aquarius's life. But now Saturn, guys, is becoming invisible in your 12th house, our 12th house. This is my ascendant. Probably know that because I say it every time. But yes, Saturn is becoming invisible. So you might feel like it's a time and that you're wrapping up something, you're completing something, seeing the results of your efforts over the last few months while Saturn was visible. Maybe you had to work very hard on something, and if you've put the required efforts, now Saturn is going to give its cornucopia. It's a bit not the right word for Saturn because Saturn only gives you what you deserve. So you're going to see the completion of some project and the best, the results of those actions. So you might be the dissolution of some responsibilities and duties that are coming now, and it's also in the 12th house, it's becoming invisible there. So the ending, the wrapping up of something, the completion of something. I can give you an example in my life that over the next 2 weeks, and it's working already. As I said, Saturn disappears over 2-3 weeks. And this is, I'm in the final moments of completing a software I've been doing for 3.5 years, guys. And that's it. It's finally getting it off my head, dissolving some responsibility, ending of some project of some sort. And let's see what the results are, whether they're beautiful or whether they suck, But something you're ending, completing. It's a great time for you guys this week and even the next one to put finishing touches on things, wrap things up. Not exactly the time to start totally new things. Not exactly especially when Saturn becomes fully invisible till February the 5th. Take it easier, relax a little bit. Maybe it's time to go on a holiday. The ruler of your 11th house, of your first house, is in the 12th house, invisible, retreat of some sort. I said the same to Capricorns, but the same planet rules you. Retreat of some sort. Take it a bit easier. And dissolve certain things, and it will be time to recharge your batteries over the next 2 months. Don't try to push too hard to start new things. It's hard to manifest when your ruler is invisible, and when it's in the 12th house. But it will be reborn again from February, the start of February, and that's great, because you can start anew, recharge, refresh with new ideas that will come to you. Those new ideas when Saturn joins the Sun, which is the start of January of some time. Those new ideas will come, but you'll be able to manifest them. Powerful new beginnings in your life from February. And you might lose a bit of physical energy as well. And you might lose a bit of sleep as well. During that time, you might feel a bit more restless as well, especially because Aquarius is very goal-oriented sign. And it's about achievements, and you might feel a bit frustrated while your planet is invisible, because you want to, systematically produce results. This is very Aquarius in nature, and when you can't, you can feel frustrated. But when you know that, this will help you. And on another level is that on a positive level, though, when Saturn is disappearing, we said you can be ending something, seeing the results of it, but some karmic debt, Saturn is that, or duty or burden that you've been carrying, that is connected to 12th house. Addiction, some karmic debt connected to addiction, to some kind of a long-term disease, or some karmic debt connected to some kind of being tied to something like imprisonment, 12th house, that you feel like if there is some area in your life where you feel like you're in prison in some way, especially because of, especially when you're self-sabotaging yourself with your own behaviors and you feel like stuck in an imprisonment. Saturn, this karma can disappear now, can be dissolved. It might be the time where it's dispersed, because Saturn disappears in your 12th house twice every 30 years. So it can be one of those times over the next 2 months when something dies, when some addiction or some self-sabotaging behavior or some karmic debt that you've been carrying from many past lifetimes gets dissolved, and some karmic secret attachment as well can be dissolved. 12th house is the house of secret liaisons as well, something of secret. It's not only sexual ones, it might be secret business deals and stuff that gets dissolved as well in some way. All right, or some kind of imprisonment, even literal, can be the end of it. It can disappear, but again, on a other level, it can mean that you feel less energetic and a bit more. And it's great time for spiritual activities, Aquarius, because your ruler becomes invisible into the house of the spiritual world. So you become inward and more invisible, and you can focus on more artistic, more creative, or more spiritual activities, and taking a break of some sort, aligning with the invisible world. But you have also manifesting power, Aquarius, because Jupiter and Mercury are going to be in your 11th house. Become visible. They are there. Mercury is joining from the middle of the week. And as I said, this is the most powerful manifesting combination this year and till next year, I guess. And even 2000, even for 2000, after 2000, even for 2019, because Mercury and Jupiter will not be together and become visible in the same sign. As we said, when a planet is rising and becoming visible, it's 10 times stronger. And Mercury and Jupiter in combination give powerful manifesting ability in a positive way in your 11th house. Gains, material gains. This can be a couple of weeks where it's raining. What is it called? It's where money comes, or gains come, or some recognition come of some sort, because the 11th house is recognition, rewards, prizes, titles and honors that come of some sort. And it can also indicate that you're starting new, and you can start manifesting new ideas. Maybe those new ideas came, maybe some new good connection happened when Jupiter and Mercury were joined with the Sun, and they came only as an idea, but now you're going to be able to start manifesting it in real life. And the 11th house is the house of contacts and benefactors and people that can help you in some way achieve your goals. So beneficial contacts, business networks. And funny enough, when Jupiter joined the Sun, a day later, I met with Amanda Walsh, the owner of the Astrology Hub. Probably a lot of you know it. And fantastic that after that, basically we're planning of doing a few things together from the from this week onwards, from the next week onwards. So it's gonna manifest properly now. So this is the same way for you. Some important contact, some important friendship can be born. Some important new ideas connected to gainfulness, to fulfilling your goals can be born as well. And Pisces, last but not least, I was giving a bit of slack that Pisces is the sign that always gets the shortest reviews. But Pisces, I'm going to be a bit more expansive on you this time. Saturn is disappearing in your 11th house. On a negative level, it can mean that a friendship is dissolving or disappearing, or friend is going away, or some membership, or you might decide to end, for example, belonging to some group or forum or new, a network of some sort, and maybe some kind of 11th house is some source of gains and income can also get dissolved. But on a positive level, it can mean that you're wrapping up and seeing the results of some long-term project, which is the 11th house, something that you worked hard towards gain or recognition of some sort over the past month while Saturn is visible. Now it can give its results depending on the level of efforts that you put. So you can reap rewards as well. But also it means that over the next 2 months after that, it might not be the best time to, I'm ending, sorry. It might not be, it might be harder to manifest new sources of income. It might be harder to manifest new friendships or new social contacts and networks, but new ones will be born and new goals as well from February onwards when Saturn becomes visible in your sign. But we have way better influence for you because Jupiter, the planet that rules you traditionally, is becoming visible in your 10th house. So you're going to start feeling, as I said, this is one of the best couple of weeks, I believe, for Pisces. You're going to start feeling empowered. You're going to start feeling like you can shine again, that you can start making things happen again with your personal efforts, because this is Jupiter, you in the 10th house, and you're going to get visibility for that. You might manifest a new career. You might manifest a promotion. You might manifest new social recognition. You might manifest new career project. You might manifest new idea how to reach to higher heights, And you can also manifest new relationships because because Virgo rules your 7th house. And Mercury is also becoming visible, the ruler of your 7th house of relationships. So you can manifest the new relationships over the next few weeks. Or if there was some difficulties in relationships because Mercury is, all partnerships, business agreements, collaborations, all of those things are starting to happen. Plus, in regards to your family, the 4th house, Mercury rules that as well. You can manifest good things in regards to property, family. But especially this 10th house is very positive. It's very powerfully manifesting career, social status, new heights of recognition, new new ideas to take you up there as well. So I think this is very manifesting time for Pisces and for a lot of people. So thank you so much, guys. Check out my 2019 calendar, 105 pages e-calendar. Check out my video horoscopes for 2019 and my written horoscopes for 2019 with my teacher. And watch out for a webinar with Nicola on the 21st of December. How to find the right people in your life according to astrology. Thank you so much. Have a great manifesting Jupiter reborn, Mercury reborn week. Bye-bye.